Probably you've already heard about dominant chords, but do you know what are dominant chords and why we use them and how to find them? Stay with me because today I will show you some concepts and a little introduction about dominant chords for you to understand these chords. Hey guys, I'm Everton Zaquini and let's talk about harmony. For this lesson, it's important that you know how to build chords from the scale and understand a little bit about the function of the chords. If you don't know anything about how to build chords from the scale or function of the chords, take a look at these videos here that I talked about chords from the scale and also chord functions. Now let's jump into the lesson. Dominant chords are major triads or seventh chords, in this case a major chord with flat 7, that most time will prepare to another chord. This chord creates some tension to resolve to another chord. We have another usage for this dominant 7th chord as modal approach or tritone substitution and other ones. Today I will show you two common ways that you find this chord in a lot of songs. As I said before, we have this dominant 7th chord preparing to another chord. So the first way that we're going to see this chord is inside of a major key or a minor key. This chord will create some tension release function. When you're playing in a major key, your 5th degree of the scale will be your dominant chord. This chord will create some tension, some instability to prepare to come back for your 1st degree, your tonic chord. In this case, if you are playing in a C major key, we have C as the 1st degree, and then we move here to the 5th degree, G and C. This dominant chord can be a triad or 7th chord, but especially when it's a 7th chord, we create lots of tension between the flat 7 and the major 3rd. So on the G chord, we have the F, which is the flat 7th, and then we have the B, which is the 3rd, major 3rd, and it creates this tritone, this very dissonant interval. These two notes together create some tension to release to the 1st degree, C. So these two notes, the flat 7 and the major 3rd, will move here to the major 3rd from the 1st degree and to the root note. So we have tension and release. In a major key, you have two natural dominants from this scale. So you have the 5th degree, so in this case G, to move to the root note, which is C. And also you have the 7th degree. If it's a 7th chord, it's gonna be a B minor 7, flat 5, this chord here. So your 5th degree and the 7th degree are the dominants. Now, if you're playing a minor key, your 5th degree also can be a dominant chord. If you're playing C minor, your 5th degree will be also G7. Now, if you look first the C minor natural scale, your 5th degree is G minor, but they are a harmonic function that we can modify the scale and then make your 5th degree major. So that's when you have the harmonic minor scale. We just adapt the scale for your 5th degree become a major chord. That's why we can use on a minor key also the 5th degree with the function of dominant. Your dominant chord is the second most important chord when you are thinking about functional harmony. Now, when you're playing a major key, it's very easy for you to find this kind of idea from the 5th degree to the 1st degree of the scale. Common chord progressions as 1, 6, 4, 5. You have this function of the 5th to the 1. Sometimes you don't need a chord with the 7th to have the function of dominant. Just the triad will be enough. So for the major key, I won't get any specific song because there are a lot of songs that use this 5-1 resolution. Especially if you get Beatles songs, you can find many songs that has this idea of 5-1, and also more complex ones that you involve things that we're gonna be talking about soon. Next time that you're playing a song, if it's in a major key, try to identify where is your 5th degree and how it works moving to the 1st degree. Now, in a minor key, let's take a look at one song that has this function of the 5th degree moving to the 1st one. The song is Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits. The song is in D minor. In this song, we have the chords 1st degree, D minor, flat 7, C major, flat 6, B flat, and the 5th, A major. Now notice that this A is a triad, but it creates some tension, asking to come back to D minor. That's the first way that you can find the dominant chord, and you can use it on your songs as well. Having this tension resolution that will be natural from the key that you're playing. So from the major key, you have the 5th and the 7th that you can use as dominant chords, and on the minor key, you have the 5th degree, and also remember that your natural scale will become the minor harmonic scale. Now the second use of this chord is going to be what we call secondary dominant. So this secondary dominant is when you use a dominant chord to reach the other degrees from the scale. If you're playing a major key, when you want to get to the second degree of the scale, you can use a dominant chord to reach the second degree of the scale. For example, if you have C major chord, the second degree of the scale is D minor. So instead of you go straight from the C chord to the D minor, we can put a dominant chord in the middle to reach the D minor, to prepare to D minor. This is the secondary dominant. Secondary dominant chords always will be the 5th degree of the chord that you want to reach. So in this case, if you want to reach D minor, the 5th degree of D minor will be A, so it's going to be an A7. Now, instead of play C to D minor, I'll play C, A7 and D minor. A very common secondary dominant that you have is when you have the 1st degree of the scale moving to the 4th degree. So in this case, C is the 1st, the 4 is F, so I have C. Now C7. C the 1st, then the C7 is the 5th degree, so the secondary dominant of F. And you can use this secondary dominant to reach the other degrees of the scale. Just need to be careful with the 7th one, which is the minor 7 flat 5 chord. Usually you won't find a pretty good secondary dominant for this chord. You can use a substitution, which can be an A7. But sometimes it won't sound that good. But for the other degrees, you can use their secondary dominant. Always will be the 5th degree of the chord. Now I play the C major scale, and I use the secondary dominant to reach the other notes from the scale. If you're liking this video and you like these lessons, your support is really important to help me to keep creating content for you. And if you want to support this channel, hit subscribe and also ring the bell for you to get the notifications of the new lessons. And also hit the like and share with your friends. I've picked out 2 songs for you to see the application of this secondary dominant. The first song is In My Life by the Beatles. The key of the song is A, and we're going to have the first part A, 1st degree, then 5th degree, 6th degree minor, then the 1st degree major, 4th degree, then the 1st degree minor. 1, 5, 6, now 5 dominant to the 4th. So here we use the secondary dominant chord to reach the 4th degree of the scale. The second song is Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder. In this song, we have the chord C minor, F sharp major 7, B7, and E. The key of the song is E major. We start the song, we have the 6th degree, the minor relative, moving to the 5th degree of B, which is the 5th degree of E, the 1st. So it's chord, secondary dominant, the dominant of the key, 1, the tonic chord. There you go, here's some examples for you to see this application. And remember now, next time that you are learning a new song or the songs that you already know, remember to take a look at the chord progression and identify the function of the chords, what is the chords. Remember that you can use this dominant, sometimes it can be some modal approach or it can be a tritone substitution, especially if you're playing a little bit more of jazz or bossa nova. Then you have much more of these functions, but popular songs will use the dominant chord, and many popular songs also has the secondary dominant chord. Now it's a good practice for you to analyze the songs. I hope you enjoyed this song, and leave a comment with songs that you have analyzed and that you could find some, especially the secondary dominant chords. Just put in the comments. I want to see if you are analyzing some songs as well. If you have any questions and suggestions for topics, also put in the comments. Have fun practicing. Thanks for watching. See you next time.